couple of things ready to go. So if you guys want to go on ahead and grab yourselves a nice, tall, cool, refreshing beverage, you can do it right now. I'm going to be just tweaking some last minute things here, but we're pretty much ready to go for the most part here. All right. Fresh off of NXT TAKEOVER 31. We are pretty much ready to do this. All right. So I've been tweaking a couple of things here since last I was on the air with you all. We are going to have a much smoother show tonight. Again, we are going to be having a much smoother show tonight. I'm excited for it. Appreciate those of you that were helping me out earlier as I was trying to reconfigure our chat layout for when you guys are watching the webcast. So now everybody, doesn't matter where you're watching us live from, now everybody that's chatting amongst themselves, you'll be able to see what you're saying there on the screen. So that's good. All right. So look, again, you want to go grab a quick drink? You want to go use the bathroom real quick? You can do it. I'm going to open up the show. I'm going to play some ads, and then I'm going to have our show intro come in and all that. And then we're pretty much going to go into the whole gist of things, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead here. I'm going to hit the record button. And I'm going to let these ads play. All right, let's do this. I'm excited, man. Can't wait to talk about this pay-per-view, man. I am totally excited. Folks, be sure to check out my friend Skeletor Ghosts over at ALGOally.com. Now, what exactly is ALGO Ally? They are a group of market option traders where they help people become financially independent while making a profit quickly in the stock market, all while providing the best tools to stay on top of the competition. They offer watch lists, live trading to follow along, and an educational server. Please use the unique URL tinyurl.com/Skeletor Ghosts, as that'll take you directly to ALGO Ally's own representative, Skeletor Ghosts, so they can help you get started on the path to a better, prosperous tomorrow today. All with signing up and getting a limited free trial of their services that you can cancel at any time. So what are you waiting for? Use that unique URL, tinyurl.com/Skeletor Ghosts. And for those of you that don't know how to spell Skeletor, SKELETOR, tinyurl.com/Skeletor Ghosts. And if you missed any of that information, have no fear, it's available in the episode description of this very episode. mangotube.co.uk, mangotube.co.uk. MangoTube is a new and exciting video sharing site similar to YouTube, where people can upload their videos for free, promote their businesses to a worldwide audience, monetize their videos for free, and live stream their channels to a large audience. We are a non-restrictive platform that believes in freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Join us today for free if you are after a clear alternative to YouTube. mangotube.co.uk, mangotube.co.uk. One more time, mangotube.co.uk.
Wrestling.
Warning, the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is intended for a mature audience only. The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond since 2011. You're listening to the RCWR Show. Now, your host, live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Yeah, what is up? It's the return of the RCWR Show. We are live for Sunday night of October 4th, 2020. Well-rested Lee Sanders here. How the hell y'all been, man? We're just a couple of minutes removed from WWE's NXT TAKEOVER 31 event. We are streaming live right now on multiple platforms. We are streaming live on the Twitch, the Periscope /Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So I wanted to know what you guys thought about tonight's NXT TakeOver event. Those of you that checked out the event, sound off. We got a poll that is on Twitter at the RCWR Show. Give me a follow over there while you're at it. Say hello. Twitter at the RCWR Show. We got the poll over there, and it is just white hot. It is cooking up a storm over there, I'm seeing on Twitter. Also, we have that poll for those of you that are Twitter challenged. For those of you that maybe said, no, I'm not going to do any more of those Twitters, the Facebooks, the TikToks. No. I don't mind YouTube, though. I do have a poll on YouTube, youtube.com/the RCWR Show. Click on the Communities tab, and you can cast your vote that way. And we'll get to you all's thoughts in just a hot minute with regards to it and everything. And, of course, while you're watching me live for the next little bit, let me know what you thought about the pay-per-view. Did y'all catch that little slip right before our show intro had played? So, a little fun trivia for you guys. I've actually edited, mixed down and all that, a handful of episodes of Wrestling Soup. If you guys had caught that little slip there, I pressed the wrong button. So I just thought for our live audience, you guys would appreciate that, because when I get ready to mix this down, I'm going to actually take this part out just for the hell of it. So it's nice to do something a little exclusive for the web joints. Kind of entice people a little bit more to check out the web shows. Look, NXT TakeOver tonight, overall, I got to say, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. You know what? I went into this NXT event and I just said, okay, you know what? A lot of the matches seems kind of predictable, although there was one or two matches that I looked at and I said, you know, if there were to be a swerve, I could see a swerve maybe happening right here. And when I just look at the match card overall, and I'm looking at it right now, I would say out of the 5 matches we got this evening, I would say that there was one match that I thought for sure was going to be our swerve. No pun intended, swerve, Scott. But there was the match I thought was going to be the swerve. It didn't happen. So I messed one match up. A predictable card, but really you're going into tonight's NXT TakeOver 31 event saying, okay, so just overall, how are the matches? Overall, just the whole pay-per-view feel, how is it overall? And overall, I gotta say, I enjoyed this TakeOver event more so than the NXT 30 event. I don't know how many of you are longtime listeners and everything. I would like to believe a good majority of you all are. But if you all recall, there was an NXT TakeOver 30 that happened not too long ago. It actually had happened in August. And if you remember me talking about NXT TakeOver 30, particularly, there was only just a couple of matches that really piqued my interest, that really truly engaged me. And I just said, okay, it's worth going out of your way to see this. And out of the 6 matches, including the pre-show, out of the 6 matches that happened on TakeOver 30, there was only about, from what I can remember, there was really only about 3 out of those 6, I said. And I think the first 2 was just bona fide, and the third pick was just an honorable mention. So you can either say, okay, so really 2, or you can say technically 3. But basically half the card I had really enjoyed. Maybe that opinion will change if I were to sit down and watch it again. But just playing it back in my mind, it was kind of, you know, it was okay. But going into this TakeOver, this one overall more enjoyable. All the matches from beginning to end, nice good flow going about them and everything. Enjoyed this card a lot more than TakeOver 32. Each its own. You can call me crazy. You can say, what the hell are you smoking? Hey, at the end of the day, that's what makes this world awesome, is that we all have different opinions. Doesn't mean we always have to agree on the same things. It does create a nice little bit of friendly debate, though. So I do welcome that debate for those of you that maybe are saying, nah, man, what the hell are you talking about? TakeOver 30 was this shit. But no, 31 was pretty good. So 31 ushering in a new era for NXT, as NXT is now going to be performing at the, what did they dub this? They dubbed this the Capital Championship. What is it? Capital Wrestling Center is what they're basically calling this now, the Capital Wrestling Center. And as soon as I heard that, one of the first things I thought of was, oh, okay, so we're going back to the Capital Championship Wrestling days here. Okay, so we're going back to the old days here. Okay, we're playing a little bit of reminiscence here. We're playing a little bit of homage to yesteryears of pro wrestling. Okay, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. And if you've checked out the show off and on over the years, you know that that's a particular era I've talked about, not at full length, but it's definitely an era that I've talked about more than one occasion because of the close ties that it has out here to DC and the McMahon family. As I've always said repeatedly, off and on over the years, for those that don't know, the McMahon family, you know, as far as the wrestling business and all that goes, it essentially got its start here in the nation's capital of Washington, D.C. So I won't bore you guys with the long history. It's a fun history. If you're a wrestling fanatic and you love sponging up as much information as you can about all things pro wrestling, it's a nice, fun story that you can go down. But right down to the point of the McMahon family starting their whole wrestling promotion, getting into the wrestling business and all that out here in D.C., Shane McMahon was actually born here in D.C. He was born in Gaithersburg, Maryland, if I'm not mistaken. In Gaithersburg, Maryland. He frequents the D.C. area a lot, too. He's been out here many times. Matter of fact, right before the COVID had shut down this XFL season, Shane McMahon was actually in attendance for the first DC Defenders game. And local news stations, they had, interviewed him and everything. So it was nice catching him on the 6 or whatever, 11 o'clock news. It was nice catching him on there and everything. That still surprises my girl to this very day, too, that Shane McMahon was born out here. Because when I tell her that, she always forgets. She goes, wait, Shane was actually born out here? I was like, yeah. And I remember the last time I brought it up, I said, you always say that. You always forget. She goes, well, I guess it's kind of rare you tell me that. It's like, I can't believe I keep forgetting that. And she goes, well, what hospital was he born at? And I said, I'm not really sure. She's like, well, how old is he? I told her his age. She goes, okay, well, if he was born out here, there's only but one hospital that he most likely was born at, which is blah, blah, blah. So he had to have been born at that hospital. It's like, could be. So yeah, the family definitely has their close ties out here to DC and everything. So that actually had put a smile on my face. You know what personally would have made me be a little bit more excited? If the event actually was NXT and all that, if it actually was happening at a new facility in DC, that would have made me even more fucking happy. But, hey, wishful thinking. Maybe in due time. Who knows? Maybe in due time. We'll see what happens. But this is their, I won't say counter, but this is how they are going to be answering what's going on with Raw and SmackDown with their whole Thunderdome experience and everything. So I got to say, presentation wise was pretty on point. It was good. I think that this is going to be very refreshing for the NXT talents. I think this is going to give them that nice shot of adrenaline because they're kind of doing something new here. Of course, nothing is ever going to replace the fans actually being there in attendance. Nothing's ever going to top that. And hopefully, eventually, when things get a lot better, we can get to that point where that 25% capacity or whatever you want to call it. Hopefully we can just get back to that point where, of course, wear your mask and everything, but it would be nice to actually participate in some of these live events again in due time. In due time, we can take our time right now. Healthy people, safety, well-being above anything else right now. We can get into that other stuff later. So, good card tonight. There was a pre-show that went down. For those of you wondering if anything monumental happened on that pre-show, nothing happened on that pre-show. Matches, nothing of that nature happened. So you're good from that standpoint. Let's go. Let's talk about the actual card here. By the way, shout out to WWE for giving us a pay-per-view that went off way before 10 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast. I got to commend them for that. I love that. I love that we can be in and out with these pay-per-views. I don't know about you guys, but I love that. Pay-per-view had began at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it went off just a couple of minutes before 9:30 tonight. I will take that. I fucking love that. More please, WWE. Thank you. All right, let's talk about this actual card here. All right, so our first matchup of the evening. First matchup was Damian Priest taking on Johnny Gargano, singles match for the North American Championship. I gotta tell you, man, and I mean this too. I know you guys are probably checking out the webcast and you see the title of it and everything, and I truly do mean what I say. I'm not exaggerating that. There's a big difference between saying match of the year and then saying match of the year candidate. And I've been very, very careful whenever I throw out that term match of the year. I've been very careful to make sure I also add to it candidate or nominee. For 2020, I would definitely say Damian Priest, Gargano. That's your match of the year candidate. This was a instant freaking classic. Instant freaking classic. Man, let me tell you something. What Johnny Gargano, that whole mentality and just that whole psychology that he has when he goes into that ring, and it's pretty much the, will this guy die already? What's it gonna take? You know, you've thrown everything and the kitchen sink at this guy, and this guy still has not freaking just lay on it. See, I'm so excited and worked up about that. Both come up there. But no, it's like, just die already. You're throwing the kitchen sink at him, you're throwing the battleship, you're throwing everything at this guy, and he just won't die. I love that. I love that gusto about him at times, especially when it's working with the right opponent. And for him, the flow that he had with Damian Priest, I mean, they clicked very well tonight. Very, very well tonight. This was my absolute favorite match out of the entire card. What Gargano essentially did too for Damian Priest, he made my man look like a stud. He really did. He really made my man look like a stud. And I just couldn't help but just relish in the fact that, you know, here's this guy. I've kept tabs on Damian Priest on the independents here and there. But to see him tonight, I'm just growing more and more confident that, man, you want to talk a bona fide stud. You want to talk about a bona fide star. This is your guy right here. I mean, the perfect package. I mean, he is going to be one hell of a fucking superstar when he arrives to the main event scene. You know, whenever he gets that call up, he's going to be fucking awesome. I mean, great in-ring talent, great swag, great character, just everything about this guy. It just clicks on so many levels. I see a lot of upside in Damian Priest on the main roster. You know, Gargano, I wish I could give that same praise. Here's where I have a little bit of concerns for Johnny Gargano, which is, okay, well, you know, he's a rather small guy. You know, and before anybody says, well, you know, Daniel Bryan, and, you know, I think to a degree, he's a little bit smaller than Daniel Bryan. I could be wrong about that, but with Gargano, see, here's the thing with Gargano. Yeah, Gargano, just for the sake of the argument, Gargano may be same height, same build as Daniel Bryan. But you know what Daniel Bryan has? The one thing that Daniel Bryan has that Johnny Gargano does not? Daniel Bryan still has those fans in the palm of his hands. And with Gargano, my concern, I just still don't feel convinced that Gargano would be able to truly succeed on the main roster. I just don't. Don't get me wrong. I can see phenomenal matches happening with the likes of Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, Dominic Mysterio, hell, MVP, Rey Mysterio. Who else? Who else? I'm forgetting about Shelton Benjamin. Who else? Who else is on there? Callisto, the whole Lucha House Party. We'd be here all night just going over the names, but there's definitely some good people. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. There's definitely a good list of people that Johnny Gargano could wrestle against. Definitely. But see, here's the thing. All of those names that I just mentioned, would all of those opponents just happen to be on the same roster with Gargano? Because unless we're going to tweak either Raw or SmackDown, unless we're going to tweak the show in a way, as far as their roster goes, tweak it in a way where definitely smaller guys can succeed and maybe ultimately be a IC champion or a world champion. Unless we're going to go in that direction, then just having a guy like Gargano be on a show that's essentially dominated by big men, you see what I'm saying? That's where you have a huge freaking problem. A huge freaking problem. So I still don't quite see the upside just yet in a Gargano on the roster unless it's tweaked in the fashion that I just mentioned. But a guy like Damian Priest, who really demonstrated to me tonight, he can work with the best of them. It doesn't matter if they're big. It doesn't matter if they're small. It doesn't matter if they're skinny. It doesn't matter if they're very wide. Damian Priest can work with the best of them. He can hang. So, I'm seeing more and more, seems like confidence and just everything radiating from this guy. Whenever he finally does get that nod to head on up to the main roster, he's going to do phenomenally well. Hey, I want to welcome those of you that's tuning in right now. Lee Sanders here. We're talking about NXT TAKEOVER 31 here on the RCWR show, covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. You guys that's watching the stream right now, let me know how it is. Are you guys good? Are you experiencing any buffering, any lagging issues? Let me know. I do have a couple of windows open, so if you guys are experiencing any type of lag or buffering, let me know, and I can try to close a couple of windows that should help out and help the stream run a bit smoother here. So Gargano retaining the North American Championship. Was not convinced whatsoever that Gargano was going to get this, even though you kind of went into this pay-per-view and you couldn't help but say to yourself, okay, his husband and wife, the Garganos, are they going to come out of this double champs? Well, you kind of know what I mean by that. You know, both of them, you know, one title for him and one title for her. So, you know, hey, they got two titles. You couldn't help but wonder if him and hers were going to get theirs. But with this match, I just was not convinced that Gargano would win the North American Championship. Kind of funny, isn't it? Maybe to some of you all, because even though I didn't feel the title would change hands, I was more than confident that the title would change hands for the NXT women's match between Candice LeRae and Io Shirai, which, by the way, if you missed the last show that we dropped it on Thursday going into Friday. The audio of that show is available. If you guys are going, wait a minute, there was a show? You know, we did stream the webcast, but I have it on private because I need to do some editing, and I'll have that be re-released for you guys, probably, if not tonight, maybe like first thing tomorrow early afternoon, get you guys ready for Monday's show. But the audio version of it is available for on demand on the downloads. We did go into NXT predictions and all, by the way. So closing moments of this matchup, we saw Johnny Gargano do a low blow to Damian Priest. You're looking at this, you're saying, my God, not this way. Surely the title isn't going to change hands this way. What the hell? And then we saw a sweet ass super kick to Damian Priest's head. That only got Gargano a near fall. Gargano then applies the Gargano escape. Priest manages to get to the ropes for the break. Johnny still is trying to apply a move that he knows is going to take care of Priest once and for all. So he actually tries to knock him into the steel steps on the outside, but Priest fights it off, catches him with a kick, but leaps into a pair of super kicks once again. One final beat is blocked, and Priest hooks him for the reckoning. Holds on to his North American Championship that way. So now the question, not $1 million question, is the program between Damian Priest and Gargano over? Me personally, I would like to see these guys continue to go at it. That's just me. I would love to see them to continue to go at it. If I had to look into the crystal ball and go, well, no, now you got to take Gargano out of the picture. Now we're going in a different direction. Who's the next opponent going to be? Okay, so Damian Priest went through Timothy Thatcher essentially already. And he's pretty much gone through Johnny Gargano. Maybe you could have him... You know what would probably be an interesting feud? Although I'm not that big on him right now. I'm really not, because of all the outside chatter that's going on. It's making me see him in a different light. And I don't really like that. I'm not condemning the man as guilty. But when you just keep hearing that stuff over and over, you just... I would like to see him in a program with Velveteen Dream. If Velveteen Dream can just stay out of the headlines for some negative shit. I mean, every time you turn around, it seems like every couple of months his name is brought up in some scandalous bullshit. And it's like, from a PR standpoint, you just want to stay the hell away from that. But Velveteen Dream, I think, would be a really good antagonist there for Damian Priest next. I mean, we shall see. Personally, I hope that Priest and Gargano continue. I would love to see them continue this program, because I think they got something magical that's there. And what you saw tonight, if you watch TakeOver, you would definitely come away saying, yeah, these guys got something special right here. Yeah, they definitely should continue on. Next matchup we had of the evening, speaking of Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream was in action against Kushida. By the way, that first matchup there between Damian Priest and Gargano, those bad boys went about 20 minutes, give or take. So good matchup there. Kushida taking on Velveteen Dream. Kushida coming away with this for the W. Again, a little distracted with all that outside stuff with Velveteen Dream. You know, I tried to do my best to just put that to the side and really focus on the match. It was an entertaining matchup, but I tell you something else that was distracting during this match. Velveteen Dream's choice of hair color. Why he decided he wanted to look like he's in his 60s, I have the slightest freaking idea. So for those of you that didn't watch TakeOver tonight, Velveteen Dream came out, unique entrance as always, and my man is pushing pretty much gray hair, or maybe that was supposed to be platinum, whatever. Looked like senior citizen Velveteen Dream that just happens to be ripped as hell. Even dyed his little chin goat beard and everything, and I just couldn't help but look at him, and I'm thinking of the black guy from Disney from back in the day. Zippity doo dah, zippity day, wonderful feeling, feeling this way. Zoop, 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 zoop. That's all I was picturing. I was picturing that and Red Fox as fucking Fred G. Sanford. That's how bad he fucking looked, man. I just thought that was distracting on so many levels. And I just kept going. Yo, who is this old man? Why is this old man fucking fighting Kushida here? What is this about here? Is this a lost scene from Booty Call or something? What's going on here? You know the scene I'm talking about too, where Jamie Foxx and Tommy Davidson are in the freaking liquor store, and you got the two Arabs. They're making fun of them because I think was it Jamie Foxx's character or was it I think it was Tommy Davidson's character that was trying to get some condoms, but there was no condoms available. If you've never seen 1997's Booty Call, you need to go check it out. That's all I gotta say. Especially if you're big in the labs, if you were ever a Bernie Mac fan and somehow you never saw that, Bernie Mac had a great little scene in there as the priest. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say for you guys. But nah, man. Despite that little cosmetic distraction, these two actually put out a good match. I think for this match, I even said when I was offering match predictions that this would be the sleeper hit of the night. I believe I'll have to rely on you guys that checked out the show for on demand and the downloads. But I believe I said that would be the sleeper hit match of the night. And those guys actually delivered. Those guys actually delivered a instant freaking classic right there, man. I enjoyed this. I love seeing the new demeanor that was coming about from Kushida. I love this new aggression that he has going on with him and everything. I'm loving it. You know, man of not really that many words, just going out there, kicking fucking ass. I love that. I love that. Great vibe that it had going on to it. Really great vibe. Dream coming out, you know, the whole arrogance coming off asshole-ish. I like that. I mean, both men, they gelled pretty well because the way that they brawled in this match, you know, they pretty much were brawling as if they were having a street fight. That's pretty much how they were doing this. And I like this. I like this. This was good. Closing moments of this one. Dream nails the Valley Driver. Connects with the Purple Rainmaker. But Dream's arm, much too hurt. Actually, you know what? If I remember it right. I'm remembering it right. Dream Valley Driver from Velveteen Dream. He hits the Purple Rainmaker. There was something going on with his arm. It was too banged up from a lot of what had went down in the match prior. So he couldn't really capitalize on picking up the pinfall and trying to get the 3 count that way. Dream goes back up to the top. Spent a lot of time taunting. We know this MO by now by Velveteen Dream. When he thinks he's got his opponent in the palm of his hands, he thinks the match is over. That's his MO in the ring. We've seen this enough times. He does all this damn showboating, and a lot of times that is typically the death of Velveteen Dream, is that he does so much showboating when, okay, you got them right where you need them, just go capitalize. It's like, you ain't, yeah, and this is the thing that I don't quite understand, really, because it's not like the fans are there in attendance. So it's not like you're really playing to them. Now, some may say, yeah, but you got the TV monitors with the fans. You know, but to that I would say, well, not for nothing, but they're really not there. So you can't really feed off of their energy like that. You really can't. The only energy you can really feed off of is the opponent that you're in the ring dancing with. That's really the only thing you can feed off of and just kind of go from there. That has been the one common theme I've heard a lot of wrestlers say, be it on social media or they say it in interviews, which is, you know, the fans, yes, very true. They do dictate the match to a degree. You know, they are that heartbeat that essentially lets those wrestlers know, okay, we're on to something right here. We're on to something very special. We got something here. Let's stay with this. Okay, nah, they're not really feeling this. We need to pull an audible. We need to go in a different direction. So, you know, if you just in storyline, you know, why is Velveteen Dream continuing to do all this showboating right now when there really is no fans in attendance and all he's really playing up to is the cameras? That's really it. To the point, you go back and you look at this match that he had against Kushida, and that is really what he was doing tonight. He was really playing it up to the cameras. And I'm just saying in storyline, for the character, just for the character, you would think that, you know, okay, if this guy's going to be more aggressive with me and everything, you know, we ain't really got fans right now. I really got to make sure I have my... Well, you could also make the argument, though, that, it's just little Kushida. Little Kushida ain't nothing. He's like a little box of munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts. I ain't tripping over him. He's a little appetizer. And if you want to make that argument, then, okay, well, then he got, and it serves his ass right. Again, in storyline, I'm saying. So, Kushida capitalizes on Velveteen Dream's showboating, runs up to the ropes, hits a hoverboard lock. He goes up. Let me see here. He then goes to the ropes. I think it was Velveteen Dream that tried to go for ropes from like I can't remember what it was exactly. But I remember the end result of that is that Dream got to his feet, tries to go for another DVD. He hits it, but Kushida doesn't let go as he applies this great submission hold on him, actually making Dream tap out. I did not think I was going to see Velveteen Dream tap out. I mean, he came back not that long ago, so I did not think in my wildest dreams we were going to see our boy tap out, but he did. He tapped out middle of the ring. Post-match. Now, see, this is where things get a little bit interesting here because post-match, Kushida, even though he has the win, still not satisfied, still pretty furious, continues to beat the living tar out of Velveteen Dream. And at that point, you're going, okay, what's going on here? He goes back and applies another submission hold on his ass. Officials come out trying to do their best to break everything up. But Kushida, it's like Kushida freaking snapped. So obviously, Dream, Kushida, not done here just yet. I can't help but wonder to what I was just kind of teasing earlier there. Is this the part where we start to maybe sympathize with Velveteen Dream? Are we maybe in the process of Velveteen Dream officially coming on over as a tweener or as a face? Are we doing a reversal right here? What's going on? This is a chapter that obviously is going to have to be continued on this week's NXT. But I love this new aggression that we're seeing there from Kushida. I love it. Let me tell you something about Kushida. I know not that many people are familiar with Kushida and everything, but I was able to see a good ton of his stuff from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the guy is phenomenal. The guy is a phenomenal talent, and what he's been doing in NXT up to this point, I would say honestly up to this point, it's just been, they're not really truly tapping into this guy and really taking him to his maximum potential. I have to, and I'm not really sure how many others would agree with me, but as far as a singles run goes in NXT, going from when he started up to now, this has been the absolute best from Kushida. I really love how they're utilizing him down there. Everything has just finally come together, and we are where we are right now with Kushida. My advice to WWE, Triple H, and all those guys down there handling the cats in NXT with regards to Kushida, keep it coming with the guy. Definitely keep it coming with the guy. Because now it feels as though they're finally starting to scratch the surface with my man. And that's good because he's a hell of a talent. He's a hell of a talent. I see a comment, Velveteen Dream was trying to do Doc Brown from Back to the Future. I don't care what he was trying to do. To each his own interpretation of what they felt he was trying to go for. I just know personally, it was very distracting. That's all I know. It was very distracting. It's kind of like a running joke that some of my friends have from time to time. They go, "Why does that person have a tattoo?" Well, 'cause that's their right, and they're into tattoos, and they want a cool kick-ass design. Yeah, but look at how dark that person's skin is. How the hell are you supposed to see the tattoo? Well, that's a good point, but, hey, they wanted a tattoo. Yeah, but it's silly. It's kind of like one of those type of things. It's like, for me, it's like seeing what I saw tonight with Velveteen Dream. It was, for me, it was just a bit too silly and a bit distracting. Now, look, if he would have came out with blue hair, blue beard, yellow hair, I wouldn't have cared. But for me, I just was going senior citizen effect. That's all I was going for. That's all I was going for personally. Next up, let's talk about the next matchup. Yeah, I am seeing what you guys are saying in the chat. I gotta tweak this a little more too, because I see that the joints are popping up. But you know what? I kind of miss having, maybe I can actually do this off the fly a little. No, you know what? I'm gonna save it. What I was gonna say was maybe I can play around with the background so that the messages that's coming in during the stream, so they can be even more visible. But nah, I'm gonna leave it where it is right now. I could play around with it. It would only take me a few seconds, but I don't really want to mess up the flow of the show. So let's just keep going. Next matchup. By the way, them two boys going at it there. They went about at least, God, it felt like they went at least almost 20 minutes. Let me actually look at, because I actually put down like an average time that I felt they were going at it. Yeah, for me, I put down about 14 to 15 minutes that they went there. So good matchup right there. Again, that was my sleeper hit match of the night. And I had alluded to that when I was offering match predictions. Hey, let's see how we're doing on Showtime here, because I got to keep tabs of time, because we got to make sure that we show some love to our sponsors, which it is that time right now. So for those of you that's listening to this on demand on the downloads, and especially those of you that's going to be checking this out live right now while we're still in the air, we're going to take a brief pause and we're going to show some love to some of our sponsors for tonight's show. Please do go out of your way. Check out these sponsors. Without their kind contributions, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. And hey, look, if you hear these ads from these sponsors and it doesn't apply to you, then forward it to a friend, family member. I'm sure you know somebody that these ads you're getting ready to hear, it does apply to them for sure. So we got just a couple of ads we're going to let play. It's going to be about maybe 2, maybe 3 minutes at most. You guys can definitely chat with me in a little chat box there in between the ad breaks. If you want to use this time to maybe go grab something to drink, use the bathroom, you can do that. But about 3 minutes or less, we'll come on back and we'll finish talking about the rest of these matches for NXT TAKEOVER 31. You are checking out the RCWR show for Sunday night of October 4th, 2020. Talking NXT TAKEOVER 31. We'll be coming right back, folks. Do hang tight. Are you tired of the traditional way of using cable? Well, Op.TV is here to cater to all of your needs with a variety of packages for all types of customers, covering loads of live TV, movies, sports, and video on demand. Op.TV has combined all your needs into one app, thus in the process eliminating the need for multiple apps from multiple subscriptions, lowering your bill at the same time, getting it down to as little as $6 a month. You heard me right, less than $6 a month. With Opt.TV, you can watch 4 screens at the same time of your shows, sports, you name it, so that you don't have to miss out on your favorite premium TV shows, movies, sports, as Opt.TV's got you covered. Opt.TV has all your kids' favorite cartoon shows, and with sports, you can always enjoy front and center, be in that red zone and the Grand Slam seats when it comes to the MLB or NHL, or get your slam dunk on with the NBA. You know they're back in full effect right now. Opt.TV plays all college games too. Just download the app and watch on iOS, Android, Amazon Fire devices, Mac, and Windows. For more details and to take advantage of a limited free trial, you heard me right, a limited free trial where you can try out Opt.TV for 12 hours, no credit card needed. Get 1,200 plus servers with local sports, news, and TV streaming. You can act right now. I am so confident though, folks, that you are going to love this. That for a limited time for you, our RCWR listeners, I am offering you all a promo code. You heard me right, a promo code. Use the promo code RCWR SHOW and you can get 20% off whatever package you decide to go with. Use the promo code RCWR SHOW and you can get 20% off. Head over there right now, opt.tv. That's opt.tv. And if you miss any of that info, have no fear. Check out the episode description of this very episode. Opt.tv. Shirtsandapparel.com. At shirtsandapparel.com, anyone can upload their own images and custom text to a different style of t-shirts, hoodies, caps, drink koozies, coffee mugs, posters, clipboards, tote bags, stickers, even coolers. And they have a lot of social justice t-shirts that's being made right now for customers. So if you're interested in making your own political shirts, you can do that and more at shirtsandapparel.com. Ready to get started today? I know you are. Head on over there right now, shirtsandapparel.com. One more time, shirtsandapparel.com. Searching for her runaway child, Jacqueline Ellsworth is led into the derelict parts of western Pennsylvania after hearing of the supposed miracles of tech industrialist Anthony Charles. She suspects her child is taken by the surrounding cult, but as she winds up in the rundown township of Dormsburg, its practices turn more sinister and grotesque by the hour. The cult's leader is about to return. Horrifying rituals are hidden behind the walls and under the streets. As Jacqueline tries to escape, she discovers why this place seems so familiar. Cult of the Eclipse is Winfield's explosive debut and an electrifying ride of body horror, delusion, and why people are lured into malicious cults. Pick up your copy of Cult of the Eclipse by Winfield today on Amazon.com. Pick it up in paperback or Kindle edition. Cult of the Eclipse, the explosive debut from author Winfield. Pick your copy up today. All right, we're back. RCWR show. All right, so we're still talking NXT TakeOver 31 Fallout. So we got a plug for Halloween Havoc. NXT, WWE dusting off a WCW classic there. NXT's Halloween Havoc. It is a special takeover event that's going to be happening for October 28th. And your host for that event is going to be none other than Shotzi Blackheart. So I'm actually excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do with this card. I actually am. So again, that's going to be coming up on October the 28th. NXT Halloween Havoc. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern, hosted by Shotzi Blackheart. Looking forward to that. I hope we get to see the Boogeyman. Come on now, you can't do something like this and not have the Boogeyman. There was ever a time we need to see the Boogeyman. It needs to be on this special. I mean, for God's sake, have you guys seen the Boogeyman? That is a guy that has been able to successfully hold himself up physically a lot during the years. He still looks exactly like how we remember him from, God, it feels like a couple of decades ago, hasn't it? It probably is, but you get the point that I'm making. So you got to have him incorporated in there. You just got to. Man, what I would give to see Kevin Sullivan. Oh my God, don't even get me started. I would love to see Kevin Sullivan. Hell, I would even love to see Singuli in there. I know that's not going to happen, but I still would love to see Singuli in there. All right, next matchup we got on the card here for NXT TakeOver 31, NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Santos Escobar, Isaiah Swerve Scott. I told you guys, quite honestly, I said, as far as the feud goes, when, again, got to refer back to when I was talking about this last on the show and we were going over predictions and all that. I said I didn't particularly care for the program that's been going on with these guys, but I did say that, hey, on paper, this should be a damn good match. I said this should be a good sleeper hit of a match. This is a match that's definitely going to creep up on you. That's going to have you ranting and raving and giving it a lot of props. Giving mad props to both men. And you know what? This Cruiserweight Championship match, it did fucking deliver. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this tremendously. I'm still not quite there, though, on Escobar. I'm still not quite there on the man. That's just me. To each its own. Very weird, though. It's very weird what's going on there as far as, I don't know, maybe I'm being a little bit too hard on Santos Escobar. I don't know. Isaiah Swerve Scott. See, here's the thing, man. Maybe you guys can kind of help me figure out why I'm kind of hard on Escobar. But for me, his personality right now is very bland. I see more upstock. I see more cachet with Isaiah Swerve Scott than I do with Escobar. I don't know if that makes me crazy or what, but I just do. I was looking at this match and I'm going, man, we might just have a new Cruiserweight champion here. It did not play out that way. Ashanti the Adonis, he showed up to take out some of Escobar's guys in the closing moments of this matchup because they tried to do the whole numbers game. Now, before anybody says, wait a minute here, why didn't the ref just throw the freaking match out? What the hell? Well, nobody had attacked the legit participants that were fighting each other for the championship. I know that sounds really crazy, but you just got to go back. If you didn't watch it, you got to actually watch this match on the card. And when you're looking at, okay, who's hitting who, really, when you take a step back and you look at it, there was just no way the referee could just prematurely, not unless officially, okay, yeah, that's definitely a DQ. It didn't happen. And Ashanti the Adonis, him showing up when he did, good timing right there, coming to the aid of Isaiah Swerve Scott there, balancing things out for him and everything. He's been on 205 live recently. For those of you that's kind of like, Ashanti the Adonis, what the fuck? Because I can just imagine some of you guys right now that's going, well, wait a minute, Lee. I've been watching NXT for about 4 or 5 months. Lee, I've pretty much been watching NXT since it's been on the USA Network. I've never, ever heard of this freaking guy before. Who the fuck? Totally understandable. I actually had to do a little bit of backtracking myself and do some research. And I'm like, who is this guy again? And then I'm looking some stuff up. I'm looking at his match history and I'm like, okay, cool. So look, that's good. That's good. If you want to inject some new blood into this whole Escobar program and everything, I'm actually down for that. And if this ultimately means that our boy Swerve has a new ally, then hey, so be it. Let the because look, when you stop and think about it, Escobar in the numbers game, this guy is always with the numbers game. And I tell you what, not for nothing, but ultimately, I would like to see my boy Drake Maverick. I know he's busy right now with Killian Dane and all that, but I would love to see somehow Maverick get intertwined in that once again, because he, to a degree, still has a little bit of a receipt to cash. So that's just me personally. But if they want to go in a different direction for a third guy, then I'm just thinking right now, who could possibly be that third guy? I'm just kind of going down the roster. Going down the roster. I don't know. Let's follow up on that. Because I actually got to see the roster again. And just to kind of really get a... Well, you know what? Actually... Whoa, that would be a good one, too. What's the name of my man? He's a heavyset dude. He looks like he's mixed with Samoan. He could pass off as a Latin. He's got black, long, wet hair when he comes out. Big dude. Big dude. Moves pretty damn good, too. He reminds me of Rhino meets Bam Bam Bigelow meets Umaga meets Brodus Clay. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't really think he's doing that much, just from what I can kind of pull out of the cobwebs of my mind. I mean, one of the last things he pretty much was involved in was trying to become the #1 contender, I believe, for a shot at the North American Championship, and pretty much things have been kind of a bit quiet after that. So maybe you could kind of slide him in there. I haven't seen enough of him, but I've been very impressed with him when I have seen his work. I just wish I could remember the guy's name right now. If anybody wants to help me out, please post it, because if I freaking go and get sidetracked trying to look him up, I don't want to do all that. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. If anybody want to post the name while I'm still live, go ahead, post it. But I'm going to keep talking about this matchup here. So once the Adonis showed up, balanced things out and everything, Scott eventually returns to the ring and connects with the Flatliner. Or at least he tried to, but that got interrupted by a super kick. Phantom Driver comes in there, only gets a 2. Santos connects with the 3 Amigos, goes up to the top looking for the frog splash, but misses. Scott stomps on Escobar's arm for a little bit, follows that up with his signature move, the house call, and then he puts in a sweet, pretty ass 450 splash. Thinking new champ right here. Nah, no new champ right there. Only got a 2 count. The 2 men continue the fight. They take the action just a little bit outside of the ring, where eventually Santos knocks Swerve into an exposed steel metal part of the turnbuckle, and this pretty much gives Swerve glazed eyes. He's pretty much out of it. Escobar smells blood. He goes in, connects with the double underhook facebuster. And just the way he did that underhook facebuster, while he did that, and when it came to landing the man, he made sure that fucking Swerve's face hit the knee. I mean, it was a nice sequence. You gotta actually watch it. It was a tight ass sequence, and he's out. He is out cold. 1, 2, 3. Santos Escobar picks up the W, but feels right here that Swerve Escobar not done by a long shot just yet. The Swerve maybe get another shot at Escobar for the time. Honestly, my 2 cents from a distance, this is the best program that's going on right now for both men. And I'm very, very high on the praise for Swerve Scott. I want to see this guy become the new Cruiserweight champion. I see so much more stock in him as a champion rather than Escobar. It's sad I can't really get behind Escobar. I really wish I could, but I don't know. Maybe I should just sit down one day out of the week, just watch a whole hour of Escobar. That's probably a bit too long, isn't it? Maybe 30 minutes. Maybe I should just kick back and watch 30 minutes of Escobar and really try to pinpoint why he just makes me feel so indifferent. But I don't know, maybe going back and watching some of his stuff will maybe have me see a different light in regards to him. I don't think so, but sorry if I'm being a little bit too critical on some of you guys. But you come to me for honesty, right? That's what it's all about. You come to me for the honesty. Next up, by the way, those guys, they went at it for about, I'd say about maybe almost 16, 17 minutes there. Next matchup, we got 2 more matches, and then we're done. NXT Championship match. Io Shirai successfully defending against Candice LeRae. This was the match that I said on the Thursday show I thought for sure was going to be the shock moment here. I was really pulling for Candice LeRae. I really, really was. I was hoping that finally, because we went over the stats and everything for how long Candice LeRae has been with NXT now when she signed on to WWE, and she's yet to capture that championship. She is like the Susan Lucci of NXT. If you know your soap actresses, then you'll get that little gist there. But she is the Susan Lucci of NXT, and I thought for sure this was going to be her night here. I gotta give it up to the girls. I do. Sincerely, this match blew me away. I enjoyed this match. Their previous TakeOver match, you know, some would say that was a match of the year candidate. I kind of lean a little bit more towards this one. To each its own, but I think we all could definitely be in agreement that the past 2 matches these girls have had, fucking badass. And for those of you that's kind of, wait a minute, they had another match? There was a match that they did in 2019. You know, I would agree that's a match of the year candidate for 2019, but I kind of like this one a little bit more. And maybe it's because of the shenanigans that was added to this as well. And maybe just the whole built-in storyline that I wish WWE writers would have capitalized on a bit more, and talking about the fact that Candice LeRae, look at how long she's been involved with NXT. And this is a championship that has somehow eluded her. Every other woman, you know, there's a few exceptions here and there. You can make that argument, but we don't really want to focus on those little details. We want to do our best to really sell this rivalry between LeRae and Shirai. And that's where you really got to focus. Hey, as long as this woman has been in NXT, this is somehow, it's been a title that's eluded her. You know, everybody else has gotten this title while everybody else has gone on and they've gone to move on up to Raw or SmackDown. Here's Candice LeRae continuing night in, night out, punching in and out there down in NXT, kicking ass, taking names, cashing checks, and she still hasn't gotten her just due when it counts the most. I mean, it was, you know, and I'm hoping that these girls aren't done yet, because that is still a story that really has not yet been really fully detailed and in story. So hopefully these girls get to continue it on and everything. But for me, what I really had liked about this match, as far as the dynamics and all that goes, was the fact that Johnny Gargano interfered in this bad boy. And he tried hard. He tried hard to have his woman win this freaking title, man. It was fucking hilarious. Okay, so about, God, it felt like maybe it was about 10 minutes before the match was officially over or whatever. And by the way, you want to talk about some sweet ass German suplexes and backstabbers that was going on in this match. These girls were executing some pretty ass sweet moves. Look, man, as far as sloppiness goes and everything all throughout this card, everybody flowed pretty damn good tonight, as far as I'm concerned. Everybody clicked. They rose to the occasion. All the men and women on this card tonight. So they definitely get my respect. They get my kudo points from that standpoint there. So let's pick it up a little bit. So, one point, Candice LeRae slaps the taste out of Io Shirai's mouth there. And then from there, she tries to set up a Gargano escape, but Shirai makes it to the ropes. Candice continues to hold on until she's almost disqualified by the ref, and then she decides, okay, I'm going to go ahead and let this go. She then accidentally hits the referee. Candice LeRae does. And while this is happening, Io connects with the air raid crash, but Candice managed to get her feet up on the moonsault that Shirai tried to do, which somehow sends Shirai into the ref. So the ref gets bumped and the ref just goes out of the ring. So you're like, if ever there was a time for some bullshit, this is that moment right now. Candice LeRae comes in with the super dragon curve stomp, or wicked stepsister. She comes in with that. There's no referee. You're going, what the fuck? This should be 1, 2, 3. Candice LeRae should be the new NXT Women's Champion right now. We get a pissed off and concerned Johnny Gargano that's running out there. He's got a referee shirt in his hand and he's putting that bad boy on. He runs into that ring, tries to go 1, 2, 3, but my man just goes 1, 2, and Shirai actually kicks out. Now, bullshit you not. Gargano is going 1, 2, and before he can even go 3, Shirai kicks out. Gargano is looking extremely frustrated. He can't believe what the hell just happened. Candice is looking on like, what the hell? So Gargano does the next best thing. He actually goes outside the ring. He grabs the NXT Women's title. You're going, okay, so maybe he's going to knock out Shirai with the title, or maybe he's going to hand Shirai the title, and Candice is going to, knock out. Did I say that right? Maybe he's going to knock out Shirai, or maybe he's going to give that title to his wife to knock out Shirai and win that way. But then the referee starts to come to. He's looking at Johnny Gargano. Gargano is trying to tell the ref who knows what. Maybe he's trying to say to the ref, hey, I counted to 1, 2, 3. So she's the new champion, but the ref isn't having any of that. The ref wants for Gargano to get the hell out of there. And so they're continuing to argue back and forth and everything. And while all of this is going on, Candice, somehow the title leaves Gargano's hands. I guess Gargano, maybe he gave the title to the ref and the ref put it on the outside, but he's still arguing with Gargano. Candice, a little behind, sneaks in, grabs the title, fucking clocks Io Shirai with it. You're going, oh man, not this way, but I'm going, yeah, I'll take it. I want to see her as champion. I'll take it. Goes in for the cover. Referee counts. Io kicks out. Gargano is still at ringside. He's throwing a hot little fit. Closing moments of this one. Io takes Candice up to the top. Hits the avalanche Spanish fly. Goes up, connects that beautiful, sweet-ass moonsault. Nobody does it better. Retains her NXT Women's title. About 17, 18 minutes. Almost a 20-minute match. Hats off to these girls. They really tore it up tonight. While Io is celebrating in the ring, as far as wondering what the next chapter may hold. Now, see, sadly, as much as I would like to see Candice and Io continue on, and maybe eventually Io loses the championship to Candice LeRae, it just looks like, as much of a fan I am of Candice, and many of you are fans of Candice, looks like that chapter is not going to be, because now we kind of know where the next feud is going to be coming from for Io. As she's celebrating post-match, Toni Storm appears on the Titantron and tells Io it's good to see her again, congratulates her on the victory and everything, but wants her and everybody else to know that she's back in NXT, and gives Io a warning that she'll be seeing her real soon. Really, really soon. So you're going, okay. Maybe we'll see Toni Storm as early as, the NXT what is that joint? The NXT Havoc Takeover event on October 28th. Maybe we'll see her right around that period. You know, you want to put some eyes on that special. I think that's a good opportunity. Have her come back there. But we also, right before that was over, we also saw a really cool video graphic package. Remember, we've been seeing something along the lines of a mystery opponent that is like some type of drone green screen type of background going on, some type of filter, and you're like, what's going on? Who's coming? Well, the mystery opponent would finally be revealed. We see them riding a motorcycle, and it looks like they're riding on this motorcycle to the compounds, you know, where NXT is and everything. You're going, oh, well, shit, maybe it's Tony Storm getting ready to come out and bring the fight to Io. Maybe we won't have to wait until that next TakeOver event. Well, we will find out that person, that mystery superstar, would be none other than Ember Moon. Ember Moon making her return. And boy, does she look more and more like a young Tina Turner. Does she not? She looked like a young Tina Turner. And Mad Max thing going on and everything. This go round when she returned, she just stood at the top of the stage ramp smiling at Io. Io smiling right back at her. And you're going, okay, this is a nice development. Couple of takeaways from Ember Moon returning. First of all, and I said this on social media, it's great seeing Ember Moon back. If you've listened to the show at any point within the past 3 to 4 months, I've been talking about Ember Moon a lot. Questioning how is she on her rehabilitation? You know, where is she exactly? And, you know, is she ready to go? You know, what's going on with her? She would definitely be one that could, you know, really capitalize right now, I feel, on the lack of stars on the main roster for the women and all that. And I was hoping that she would get another chance at the main roster, but it seems that Ember Moon is now exclusive to NXT. I mean, don't want to rush to conclusions, but hopefully I'm wrong about that. But if she is exclusive to NXT, I'm okay with that, because I think we can all be in agreement. Her time on the main roster, it was sadly a bust. And I don't know who failed. You know, I would like to believe that to a certain degree, she could definitely take part ownership of that to a degree. But for me, in my estimation, I just feel that creatively, the writers failed her a lot. They failed her a lot. You know, while everybody was focusing on building up the Ronda Rouseys and the usual suspects, she definitely should have been one that should have been built up even more. You couldn't deny what she was able to do in the ring. The only issue that was going on with Ember Moon really was being able to connect with the fans. You know, she didn't really have that true career-defining moment on the main roster that served as her breakout star moment. She really didn't have that. And, you know, it sucks that until we see things differently otherwise, by all accounts, as of tonight, it looks like she's now exclusive to NXT. And you guys got to remember, this is a long road to recovery that Ember Moon has had, because she was on the shelf going back September of last year because of an Achilles tear. She had an Achilles tear injury back then, and she had described it as potentially career ending. And then she had provided another update. I want to say the next update she gave was, I want to say November or maybe first quarter of this year. She said, no, I'm going to continue to be out for an indefinite period of time. And I know one of the most recent interviews she had gave, I want to say she gave it to comicbook.com. And, you know, it was kind of I won't spoil it for you if you guys like. Well, she did a more recent interview. Like, yeah, she did a more recent interview. If you guys want to, go check that out. I won't, really spoil that for you guys. She didn't say she was returning, but she did talk about the injury and all that. So you just kind of couldn't help but have hope that what, she's got to be coming back, right? She's got to be coming back. She hasn't announced a retirement just yet. I'm happy to see her back. I'm happy to see her back because what's usually one of the main that'll get you. Achilles injury, ACL, quad. Most people don't really come back. Definitely not the same way after something devastating like that. So very happy to see her back, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to be able to do this go round. I'm looking forward to seeing how much I'm hoping she's grown as a character and all that. I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to be able to do this go around, and just the matchup she's going to be able to have down there too. Ooh, bring it. Looking forward to it. Bring it. Hey, do me a favor. If you guys are enjoying the show, please go out of your way. Leave the thumbs. Appreciate it. Helps other people be able to discover the content with more ease. And if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. And make sure you give me a follow all throughout the social media feeds. We got one more match to talk about, and then we're going to take a look at the polling results. Again, polling results, Twitter at the RCWR Show, and youtube.com/the RCWR Show. Click on the communities tab where I'm asking you guys, what did you think about tonight's NXT TakeOver events? So we have that still to come. One more match. Let's go. Let's go out strong. One more main event match here to talk about. Finn Balor taking on Kyle O'Reilly. These guys went about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Ooh, daddy, this was good. This was good. I had to really stop and think, man, when was the last time did Kyle O'Reilly have a singles match for a world title? You had to go back to Evolve when Austin Theory was still the Evolve heavyweight champion. You had to go back that far. And then if you wanted to go back even further, I mean, you had to do some digging. You had to do some digging for Kyle O'Reilly. It's been that long since he's had these opportunities here. This was my match of the year nominee right here. My match of the year nominee, definitely this one. Definitely Gargano taking on Damian Priest. Out of this pay-per-view card tonight, those would be my two matches. These boys delivered a freaking clinic. I love this. I love the whole filling out process of the whole match, the way it began. Both men really kind of filling each other out and everything, warming up. I love that. I loved how technical overall this match was. It was very technical. Many points, they just start brawling and everything. And I don't know where the spot happened, but somehow my man Finn Balor, I don't know if it was an eternal thing or what, but somehow he gets messed up big time. He's bleeding profusely from the mouth. And you're going, man, this is a great visual, but seriously, what the fuck is going on with Finn Balor? Did he bite his tongue? What the hell is going on here? Good match, man. Good match. These guys, boy, I tell you what. I looked at this and I just couldn't help but shake my head and say, what was the main roster's loss is NXT's gain. You honestly did not know what the fuck to do with Finn Balor? Seriously, you're scratching your head and you really don't know what the fuck to do with Finn Balor. You had your next Undertaker, whatever you want to call it, man. You just Jackal, Mr. Hyde, or as I have been saying on this show for a couple of years now, you had a Marvel Comics sleepwalker on your hands. Don't ask me to get into that. Bing, Google, Marvel Comics sleepwalker. You'll get the gist. But you had like this really cool ass thing going on with Finn Balor. And yet somehow you managed to fuck that up. We go from Demon Balor to Rainbow Balor. Everybody loves Balor. Balor Club for everybody. We go to that. Weird twists and turns that was going on with Balor. Weird twists and turns. And I tell you, leave it to old Paul Levesque, Triple H, and crew. That's okay. We know how to use this guy. We'll get him back to good. We'll make him nice and shiny again. And we'll make sure they don't get him this go round. I just couldn't help but just, because I always knew what this man was capable of. It's nice to be able to say, you know what, I was actually watching some of this guy's stuff, New Japan. It's nice to be able to say that. And to just see how he was failed. It leaves me speechless sometimes. I just can't help but think it wasn't that long ago he was on the main roster. And boy, did the people in charge there failed him tremendously. They really, really did. They failed him tremendously. Kyle O'Reilly, this was officially his coming out party as far as I was concerned. For Kyle O'Reilly, this, for me, I always knew what this man was capable of as a singles competitor. Got to see a big bulk of his stuff in ROH and a couple of other promotions, but mainly ROH. So I always knew what Kyle O'Reilly was capable of. And for me, I just relished in that fact that I knew what he was capable of, but now fans that weren't really that familiar with him are going to properly be introduced tonight. And I tell you what, man, I couldn't be any more happier for both men. This was one of my favorite matches. I got to say, if I really had to take a step back, as far as 2020 goes, and we're pretty much almost done with 2020, if I had to just look at NXT, just look at the takeovers that they've done, I would definitely put this match between these two men. I would put this match on my top 5. You know, making it like a top 10 list. I would definitely put this match. I might be so close as to say I would put this in my top 3, actually. I might be so tempted as to put this on my top 3. First of all, how many takeovers are we going to have by year's end? That's the first thing that we got to take into account. But like off the break, I would say definitely top 3 for sure. These guys delivered a damn good classic. I don't think anybody really doubted that Finn Balor was going to lose this title. I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen. Although, as I pointed out on Thursday's show, it'd be kind of cool if you had an evolution moment there. Kyle does it. And then next thing you know, Adam Cole, a couple others, they're bitter or whatever. But that wasn't the case whatsoever. Good match between the two. I can't sing enough praise with these guys. Post-match is where things really got interesting. We saw a great act of sportsmanship come from the champion Finn Balor as he extended the hand to Kyle O'Reilly to raise him up and everything. And great act of sportsmanship, but that act of sportsmanship would not last that long, as all of a sudden we just see somebody from the Undisputed Era, they just get thrown over the barricade, and we're going, what the hell is that? And then we see that it's Adam Cole. You're going, who the hell destroyed Adam Cole like that? What the hell is going on? And we see that the person that did this to him was Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland did that to him. I mean, he just, whatever he did to Adam Cole, he fucked him up good. He messed him up good. So he just shoved him on out there. I mean, he just laid him out over the barricade to the floor like a slab of meat, man. Slab of raw meat, just plop. There you go. You said you wanted a pound of chuck. There you go. $14.95. And he looked on at Kyle O'Reilly. That's the thing. Was he looking at Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor? Or was he just looking at Kyle O'Reilly? It's kind of the way he did it. It was just like, yeah, I did this. And what? It wasn't a simple, well, I'm just dropping this load off. Got to go now. I mean, he dropped that load off, stood there for about 40 seconds as if to say, and what? I did this to you, man. And what? and then proceeded to just gingerly walk away. You see other members of the UE, they come out to check on Adam Cole. He's unresponsive. They're like, what the hell? You know, what the hell's going on here? Finn Balor's looking on, and he's like, man, can I just spin something on you guys here? Can I just spin something on you guys here? It's something to consider. It's something to consider. Talk about mind blown too. What if Ridge Holland and Finn Balor somehow came to some type of an agreement? You scratch my back, I scratch your back. You look out for me, I'll do my best to look out for you. We need to have a partnership. Hey man, I'm going into this match here. I need to ensure that I walk out of here still the NXT champion. I plan on holding on to this title for quite a long time. You know, if you think you can help me out with that, name your price, money, I got the contacts, whatever you want, I can hook you up. Can we come to some type of an understanding? And I'm entertaining that idea more and more and more. Damn, a heel Finn Balor with some serious hired muscle power guns in Ridge Holland. You could also take that Ridge Holland looking on at both guys. You could also kind of consider him looking at Finn Balor to say, I did your dirty work. I did what I needed to do. Mission accomplished. You can't help but wonder. You really can't help but wonder. So kind of have that in the back of your mind going into the coming weeks there, man. Coming to the coming weeks, because I was expecting, I got to be honest with you, I was expecting at some point other members of the UE were actually going to come out. I actually was expecting it. I know that the final NXT going into the pay-per-view, Kyle O'Reilly said, nah, they're not going to be at ringside. I'm my own man. You're going to be fighting me. You're not going to be fighting the rest of them. But you still can't help but wonder, okay, but were they at some point going to come out? And then even if they decided they were not going to come out, that it was agreed upon, could you really put it past the NXT champion, Finn Balor, that's fought so hard to be king again? Could you truly put it past Balor to not have some type of an insurance policy that he would walk out of TakeOver still champion, to be continued? So I love this little bit of stuff that we got going on here with these plot twists. These are very, very interesting plot twists that you kind of have to consider as you get ready for the next handful of NXT shows that's going to be coming up. But fantastic match. So, look, thumbs up, thumbs down. Definitely a thumbs up for NXT TakeOver 31. And to that, let's go to the polls now. See what Steve is saying in the chat, talking about he's happy to see Amber Moon back. I'm sure a lot of people are ecstatic right now seeing Amber Moon back. And you know what? If it turns out, in fact, she's locked in there for NXT, more power to her, man. They know how to fucking utilize talent. Going to YouTube now, we're looking at the communities tab. And so far, early votes on YouTube, but 100% of the votes coming in right now, thumbs up for NXT TakeOver 31. Again, 100% of the votes coming in right now are giving NXT TakeOver 31 a thumbs up. Let's go to Twitter now. Twitter, we are going. Twitter, we are there. Twitter, you guys are saying, wow. Okay, so we did this two ways on Twitter. Amongst our own followers of the RCWR show, 100% are giving NXT TakeOver a thumbs up. We polled folks on WWE's Twitter account. Followers of WWE's Twitter account, 97% are giving TakeOver a thumbs up. 3% are giving it a thumbs down. Again, 97% are giving TakeOver a thumbs up. 3% are giving it a thumbs down. Definitely a great show. Overall, definitely a great show. Like I said, I enjoyed this more, to each his own, but I enjoyed this more than NXT 30. That's just me. But I would say, again, out of the matches that we got on the card tonight, I would say, look, honestly, watch the entire pay-per-view. Like I said, it came on at 7, went off a couple of minutes before 9:30. So, 2 hours, about maybe 20 minutes. It went by so quick, though. That's the thing. It went by so quick. But, man, just looking at this card once again, again, top to bottom, every single match delivered in its own right. But out of the 5 matches, if I really had to single out the matches you should really go out of your way to see first, maybe on Daily Motion, YouTube, or whatever, I would say go out of your way, check out Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, then check out, in this order, check out Damian Priest taking on Johnny Gargano, then take on Kushida taking on Velveteen Dream. Check out Io Shirai taking on Candice LeRae, and then check out Finn Balor taking on Kylie O'Reilly. Again, as far as my match of the year candidate nominees and all that for matches of the year, I would give the nod to Damian Priest taking on Gargano, and I would definitely give the nod to Finn Balor taking on Kyle O'Reilly. My sleeper hit match of the night, one that just creeped up on you and you didn't know that was going to be a hit, Santos Escobar taking on Isaiah Swerve Scott. But that's going to do it for this show. So we got this one in the books. I'll be back in less than 24 hours with a new RCWR show. We'll be coming on as soon as Raw goes off the air. So tune in for that. That should be a fun show. A lot of stuff that we're going to be diving into on that. A lot of talent's been voicing off about WWE and what's been going on with these third-party social media distributor deals. A lot of talents have been jumping out there, getting more vocal about it. Zelina Vega recently commenting, Dakota Kai as well. So we'll talk about that. Some more headlines. I'll react to the NBA Finals and how that's been playing about. React to some of the NFL games we got for this weekend. Loads more that we're going to be getting into on Monday's RCWR show. We'll be live after Monday Night Raw goes off the air. We'll be streaming on the multiple platforms: Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We'll be streaming all over the place. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcasts. Give me a follow on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. Now comes the fun part, something new. For those of you that's going to be looking to get the audio version of this show, big news for you guys. Now that we've pretty much gone back to basics in how I would initially do the show, have my ads, have the intro, and all of that good stuff, you guys will only have to wait about 30 to 35 minutes at most, and I will have this show be uploaded for your downloading and listening pleasure. So first crack, from what I'm able to see, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. They typically, once I'm done publishing, they typically get it in about 15 minutes after I get done publishing the episode. But again, it's going to take me about 30 minutes to do what I need to do, maybe less than that. And then probably about 15 minutes afterwards just for all of those outlets to get it. So honestly, it's 11 p.m. Eastern right now. I guarantee you, if you were to check out Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Spreaker by 11:45 p.m. Eastern, it's going to be on those platforms, and it'll trickle on down to the other platforms about an hour, 90 minutes after that. All right. So that's going to do it. Please, on your way out, make sure you leave the thumbs up and give me your thoughts, your reactions to tonight's NXT TakeOver 31 event. But once again, I'm definitely giving it a thumbs up. Passed in my book. Great event. And that's going to do it. Until Monday night after WWE Raw, I'm wishing all of you all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. We will definitely do this again for you guys in just a little bit. So until then, ta-ta for now. Y'all do take care. Good night.
Thanks for listening. An Infinity One Productions presentation. Giving an honest, insight